After the release of Chicken Little, the deal with Disney and Pixar was about to expire when Cars would be released. It was at the hands of Chicken Little to see what would happen with the two companies. If it was a financial success, Disney can have a new contract for keeping Pixar. If not, Disney is not allowed to distribute a computer-animated film without the help of Pixar. The result? Unconfirmed. In the eyes of Pixar, it didn't do well. But in the eyes of Disney, it was a major success. In the end, they decided that they couldn't live without each other, so Disney decided that instead of a new contract, they buy Pixar for about $7.4 billion, and Pixar's executive producer, John Lasseter, became the chief creative officer for Walt Disney Feature Animation. In 2007, Disney had released Meet the Robinsons, based on the book A Day with Wilbur Robinson by William Joyce. It's about an orphan/inventor named Lewis who got brought into the future by a kid named Wilbur. Lewis would then meet Wilbur's family, which is a cast of really weird characters. But a guy in a bowler hat, literally named Bowler Hat Guy, and his mechanical hat named Doris, wants to have one of Lewis's inventions so he could be a renowned inventor. When the Disney-Pixar fusion was made, they changed the company's name from Walt Disney Feature Animation to Walt Disney Animation Studios. When John Lasseter saw an early screening for the movie, he told the director Stephen Anderson to go make some changes and that the villain wasn't evil enough. And boy did Stephen change some things. 10 months later, he changed about 60% of the entire script, including improving Bowler Hat Guy and adding him a buddy, changing the ending, and giving the movie a dinosaur chase scene. It does make sense since the plot includes a time machine. Speaking of Bowler Hat Guy, he was supposed to be voiced by Jim Carrey, but he had a choice of either doing that or star in the film The Number 23. I think we all know the answer by now. At the end of the film, they show a quotation from Walt Disney saying,
"Around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things, because we're curious, and curiosity keeps leading us down new paths."
The three words that Walt said, "keep moving forward," would be the quote that the Robinson family would keep on constantly saying during the movie. When it was released, it was also in both regular and RealD 3D, so both versions had different shorts before the film would begin. The regular one had boat buddies with Mickey, Goofy, and Donald, while the 3D version had Working for Peanuts with Donald, Chip, and Dale that was also in 3D. That 3D short was also shown in an old Disney attraction called Magic Journeys. As for the critics and box office, they did better than what they earned on Chicken Little with the critics, but for the box office, they did so-so. They earned almost $170 million worldwide. A year later, they released Bolt, the story of a dog, which is the star of an action TV show, who thinks that what happens on set was real. In one episode, his owner Penny got taken by the villain of the show. So, Bolt left Hollywood to go find Penny and brought a hamster and a ball named Rhino, who is Bolt's biggest fan, and a cat named Mittens, who tries to wake Bolt into reality. Originally, it was called American Dog, and it was written and directed by Chris Sanders, who also did Lilo and Stitch. The story for that was a little bit far from Bolt's. It was about a TV star dog named Henry who also thinks that everything on set was real, but he got lost in a Nevada desert. Along with Henry were a one-eyed cat and a radioactive bunny. Then in 2006, John Lasseter and other Pixar directors asked Chris to make some changes, but he resisted, so he got replaced by Chris Williams and Brian Howard. After Sanders left, they completed the film in just 18 months instead of 4 years, which is the required time to make a computer-animated movie. For the design of Rhino, it was based on Lasseter's pet chinchilla that he brought to the studio. Chloe Moretz, who who voiced Penny when she was really little, was supposed to be Penny for the entire movie. Heck, she voiced the entire film until Miley Cyrus came. Alright, one word of advice, Disney. Don't ever try to cast someone from Disney Channel in your films. Ever again! Also, the show in the film is scarily similar to Inspector Gadget. Think about it. If you remove Gadget, you get a girl named Penny who is with a smart dog whose name starts with the letter B and can only talk to Penny. The supervillain is with a cat, and it usually ends up saving the day. Also, the story kinda reminds me of The Truman Show with Jim Carrey, but that's just me. When it was released on November 21st, 2008, the critics actually loved the film, so much so that it even got nominated for Best Animated Feature, but lost to Wall-E. This is something they haven't got since Brother Bear. For the box office, it was pretty successful with almost $300 million worldwide, but domestically, they were in 5th place of the highest grossing animated films of 2008, behind the Blue Sky film Horton Hears a Who. In 2009, they released their hand-drawn animated comeback, The Princess and the Frog. It's about a girl named Tiana, who wanted to open her own restaurant, met a frog who is actually a prince, transformed by Dr. Facilier. She kisses him, but turns into a frog herself. Now they both have to find a way to turn themselves back into human. When Ed Catmull and John Lasseter made that deal in 2006, they agreed to bring hand-drawn animation back on the big screen. When John approached Ron Clements and John Mustard to do the film, he told them,
"Make what's in your heart. You guys know Disney better than anybody else. What makes a great Disney film? Do what you want to do."
Originally, the film was supposed to be called The Frog Princess, Tiana was supposed to be called Maddie, and she was supposed to be a maid. This made a really big controversy, because Maddie's name and her job were considered stereotypical, and people thought the title was meant that she was black. In other words, oopsie! By returning hand-drawn animation, they have to bring some new stuff with them. The cap system, used in many Disney films, was outdated, so to replace it, they used Toon Boom Harmony, a software made in Montreal. To prepare the animators to get familiar with the software and the gadgets, they made a short called How to Hook Up Your Home Theater starring Goofy. The goal for the looks and the style is aiming that of Lady and the Tramp and Bambi for the Bayou. Wait, doesn't Bambi live in a forest and not in a swamp? Alicia Keys and Tyra Banks personally tried to convince the studio that they could do the part of Tiana, but the top contenders were Jennifer Hudson and Anika Noni Rose, which is ironic since they were both on Dreamgirls. Just needed Beyonce to audition and it would have been full circle. For the music, they really want to get that New Orleans feeling, so they put Randy Newman in charge. It was originally Alan Menken and his new lyricist, Glenn Slater, but Lasseter felt that Disney used Menken a little bit too many times to bring him back. When it was released, the critics really enjoyed it. People like Roger Ebert, the LA Times, and Entertainment Weekly gave it around 80% or 4 out of 5 stars or however they rate it these days. Oh, actually, even I reviewed it. Go check it out. The link's on the side. As for the box office, well, it's pretty hard to determine because as I'm recording this, the movie is still in theaters and it now has around $150 million worldwide. And it didn't open yet in some parts of Asia, and I don't think they went through half of Europe yet. And if you guys still have the chance, go and watch it in theaters. You will love it. And trust me, you will enjoy it more than Alvin and the Chipmunks the Squeakquel.